What's up, dudes? We have Leo and Capricorn left. Leo and Capricorn. Somebody might be high-functioning autistic. They might either get a diagnosis or have an aha moment where it's true. They're high-functioning autistic. And other people are so fucking rude about it. So this has happened to me too. I got a later in life high-functioning autism diagnosis. Pretty much, well, it started with my daughter. She got her diagnosis, and then it kind of worked backwards. When I had told some people about my daughter, some of the first things they said were, "No, she's not." "No, I'm telling you, she is." "No, she's not." And then moving on to me now, when I told other people about me, see, a lot of people have no fucking idea what they're talking about and judging other people about. They really are not educated on the scale and spectrum of autism. Not everybody presents like Rain Man. And so I was treated very rudely, very disrespectfully when I opened up about a very personal thing. And that's why I'm doing this project, to show the kind of fun, magical, sexy side of high-functioning autism. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. So in my autism journey, maybe you would say, I heard a family member yell at me, "Bullshit, prove it." I heard a friend say to me, "Well, does it really matter? I mean, if that's the way you identify." Those are just a couple of ones that really stung. And so, which is not that uncommon to happen. And there's an excellent video, the name Paul might mean something. There's an excellent video about a man named Paul, who explains autism regression in adults. Is it a thing? And so a lot of people may be like, "Oh, well, they're faking it, or they're trying to get attention," or something like that. These are people who have convinced themselves they know what a donut tastes like when they've never ate a donut. And they're kind of bossy to the people who eat a donut every day. So this really informative video talks about why it may seem like people are getting more autistic or acting more autistic, especially after a diagnosis or something like that. It's not that they have changed or are acting or anything like that. It's that the mask that you've been wearing your whole life finally crumbles. And all the balls you've been juggling, the engine that's constantly going, just stops. And then here I am. And so there's another video that's a really great lesson. It's the most delightful video ever. I think it's called "The Cutest Way to Order Room Service," where a girl who's autistic is in a hotel and she's going to order some room service. And you see all the prep work, and that's called putting your mask on. And then as soon as she picks up the phone to order the room service, you can see the shift. And so the lesson out of this is, in the prep work, a lot of spectrumy people will get like tsunamis of emotion that come over them, and you can see her. She's like all excited, and she's like, ah! That's very normal. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm stepping up, I'm gonna do this. And you put your mask on, and then all of a sudden you're like stereotypical normal. But what is normal? And so the lesson is, the dude on the other end of the phone, the employee who's receiving the room service call, Spirit wants you to think about how she sounds when she's ordering her room service and her coffee. And if he hung up the phone and his coworker says, "Is that person autistic?" the guy would probably say no. Why? Because the whole time she had her mask on. And so a lot of times this has happened for high-functioning spectrumy people their whole life. You don't realize other people aren't experiencing life the same way you are. And then when it starts to make sense, when you kind of feel out, the mask starts to crumble, and then you can stand in your authentic self. A lot of anxiety, panic attacks go away, all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of abuse that comes with standing in your authentic self, and it's called disrespect straight to your fucking face. And in this video that we're going to watch from that man named Paul, he explains that this is actually pretty common. People just refuse to accept it, and they're fucking rude about it. So here's what the general population needs to understand. If somebody doesn't present how you're uninformed, but you've convinced yourself you're totally informed about something you're totally uninformed about, you've never ate a fucking donut. And if you yell back things like bullshit, prove it, or, well, if that's the way you identify, would you say that to somebody who says, hey, guess what? I just learned I'm diabetic. I just learned I have this diagnosis. What? Anything but autism. You would never say that to somebody because it's fucking rude and disrespectful. So why do people do that? Well, sometimes it's because they will have to accept their own behavior towards you in certain issues, that you were an innocent and they were being a bitch. And it's easier to gaslight themselves that you're just making it up, eccentric, looking for attention, something like that. Instead of reflecting how fucking rude, disrespectful, mean, not compassionate they are. So finally, there's one more video, and it's what women with autism want you to know. And there's a lot of high-functioning, especially autistic women, especially if you're my age, I'm 51, and men too, and people, however you identify, who have absolutely fallen through the cracks. So women, a lot of women, and a lot of the show boys, and it doesn't mean like anything about masculinity or anything like that. Like a showboy can be super masculine, but they can present more like women do, where it's not just planes, trains, and automobile interests, stuff like that. It could be arts, the arts, entertainment, words, stuff like that. So a whole bunch of people may find freedom in finding out who they really are. But with it comes a crack in the heart sometimes, because people don't want to accept who you really are. And they can be mean about it. But that's because their own ego is in the way. Alright? I'm also going to put a link. Yeah, a lot of people might have fleas. So there's another informative video called, and I'll put all of these down in the comments section of this video. Knowledge is the key to freedom. And all of this knowledge is given to you for free on YouTube. I'm just an Your Ibiza might mean something or something like that. I just heard Idaho. I'm just the librarian for the Akashic Records. Spirit likes my library skills. So, I'm going to put a bunch of informative videos, and the last one is going to be, it's entitled, Am I the Narcissist? What No One Wants to Tell You. And if you've ever thought that, like, oh my God, am I a narcissist? Like, I've identified doing some narcissistic things, and oh my God, am I a narcissist? Shame. If you've ever thought that, the answer, quick answer, is probably no. You're probably not a narcissist. Because a narcissist doesn't really have the ability to self-reflect like that. You may have picked up fleas, or whoever acts this way. And that's a term, it's called picking up fleas, where your ego has just kind of gotten out of control. And an unchecked ego is a narcissist. There's another one too that this particular YouTuber does, where it's titled, Why Does Narcissist Abuse So Often Lead to Spiritual Awakening? And it's usually an empath-narcissist dynamic, where a narcissist is so terrible to an empath that the empath has a spiritual awakening due to this consistent abuse. So I'll put those there too. So if you, because I have channeled Mighty Elks Shake Off the Fleas. So picking up the fleas is basically just having bad behavior. All right. So Leo and Capricorn. There's a bunch of informative videos, Knowledge is the Key to Freedom, that I'm going to put in the comment section here of this video. If you're afraid to click the link, I can understand it. I promise I'm just a spiritual leader. I'm not nefarious linking. But I also do put the titles above the video. You can copy the whole title and put it in the search on YouTube, and that video will pop up. But my links go straight to the video. I'm doing this whole project completely alone by myself. I don't have anyone that's like heading this for me. I'm not working in conjunction with anybody at this moment. I love collaborating, but this whole project I have done completely alone and by myself. All right. Leo and Capricorn. What animal does Spirit want to show Leo and Capricorn? Rabbit. And rabbit landed right on this. Sacrifice. What's the next message Spirit wants to show? What's the next message? So we're going to learn, the collective is going to start learning how broad autism is. It's way broader than we think. And a lot of know-it-alls who don't know it all are going to spout out a bunch of bullshit. I personally think, and I have also channeled, autism is a new race of people. So, like the woman says in the What Women with Autism Want You to Know video, people get mixed up what spectrum means. And a lot of times they think it's a line, and it's like, where do you fall? Like, how autistic are you? How different are you? Over here is somebody rocking and drooling and can't speak. Over here is a really smart genius person. That's not how a spectrum is. So with autism, the way she explains it is really perfect. It's like this 3-dimensional asteroid. Now I'm going to add to what this woman had put down. So imagine an undulating 3-dimensional asteroid with little caverns and outcroppings and all sorts of things. Way over here on that asteroid is the nonverbal, rocking, drooling, autistic person. Way over here. Way over here are super smart people who are sending rockets up into space, having them turn around and land back down on a bullseye. Yeah, they're all autistic. Over here is scary autistic people. I call them scary autistic. That's local boy cuts mama's head off and puts it in a pot on the stovetop. They have Asperger's. What? Yeah, all the people with Asperger's say, I've never had the urge to cut my mama's head off. Yeah, don't lump me in with that person. Yeah, that's because they're a scary person who also is a psychopath. It's not the Asperger's that made local boy cut his mama's head off. It was the psychopath that he also was, because autism is a new race of people. And so you get psychopaths too in a new race of people. So it wasn't the autism that made him cut his mama's head off. It was the psychopath part of him. The autism probably made him proficient in knife skills. So other scary autistic people would be Charles Manson, Adolf Hitler. And so you get, with any new race of people, you get cool people and assholes. You get funny people and total dicks. So we got to start looking at autism as a new race of people that have had the turn of the evolutionary wheel. So, for example, the people who are geniusy, sending rockets up into space, landing, all those kind of people. I'm over there. I'm a creative genius over there. Their bodies have completed the transaction correctly. That's the way I channel it. Musicians, prodigies, very prolific artists, all these kind of people, your body has I hear creating a new song. Your body has completed the transaction of evolution properly. Over here, the drooling person, their body did not do the turn of evolution properly. And so we need to start understanding that pretty much everybody's family, somehow within close family or extended family, has a connection to autism. Why? Evolution, baby. All right. You are not alone. Clear your karma. So a lot of people won't talk about it. A lot of high-functioning autistic people won't say they're autistic. Why? Because stereotypes and stigmas. So that's what I'm doing with my project, is bringing high-functioning autism awareness, the magical, cool, fun, sexy, exciting side, to show everybody it's okay to let your freak flag fly. That's how you find the other freaks, baby. Okay, baby might mean something. All right, next message for Leo and Capricorn. The Fool. There may be a brand new adventure. I'm looking at this collar. A collar might mean something. A message from Divine Feminine Energy for Leo and Capricorn. Message for Leo and Capricorn. If you're my age, you might get your own diagnosis or your own aha moment. It might come backwards to you. Your child might get a diagnosis, and then the more you learn about it, the more you say, oh my God, this sounds like me. So if that's the case, and if you've had a very hard struggle, and you're very scared for your child, just know this. We are the adults now. And we're a cool bunch of people, our generation. And your child has way more help than you, because you never got anything. You never got compassionate interpretation. You never got any sort of help. And you never even got the knowledge of why things may be harder. Your child's going to get that. And the other thing that this other woman says is, your child is a whole and real person, and they're going to be fine, just like you are. All right? Message from Divine Feminine Energy. I now understand myself in a deeper way. It may take a while for some people in your life to be on board with the truth. And they might be really rude about it. It's just something you have to struggle through. The disrespect. The people who've never ate a donut telling you to your face what a donut tastes like. The doctors who are not autistic telling everybody what autism is. Like, ask yourself this. We do need doctors, for sure. But ask yourself this. If you had to cross a river, a dangerous river, from Grossville into Healdville, who are you going to listen to? The person who said, no, I've made a map. No, I just studied some other maps, and I found the best way to cross the river. I've never crossed the river myself. I don't even know how to cross a river, but I just blab about the best way to cross a river. Or do you trust the person on the river's edge who says, I cross this river every day, and I know the best way, and I'll show it to you? Who do you trust to tell you the truth about what a donut tastes like? The person who's never ate a donut but only read about it? Or the person who makes and eats donuts every fucking day? So it's not saying, like, disregard doctors who are not autistic. But it's time we start listening to grown-up autistic people explain what autism is. All right? Message for Divine Masculine. Message from Divine Masculine Energy. What's the message from Divine Masculine Energy? And a lesson to anybody. If somebody tells you I'm spectrum-y, believe them. Believe them. You don't need to add your 2 cents about how you believe them or not, or if that's how you identify, or bullshit, prove it. When'd you get your diagnosis? And here on YouTube, in the autism community, self-diagnosis is just as accepted as clinical diagnosis. Because when you're an adult and you go in and pay a bunch of money to go see somebody to get a diagnosis, what does it get you? Nothing. It's not like you're getting an IEP at school. It's not like you can bring it into your boss. No, you get nothing. You just get a doctor saying, yes, I too agree, like you just said, that you're autistic. So if you haven't had an autism diagnosis, yeah, you're not going to get disrespected within the autism community. All right, next message. I'm quite fond of you. I want to know more about you. All right, there's your message, Leo and Capricorn. I'll put all those informative videos down in the comments section of this video. All of my readings are interactive. And so if you're only watching, you're only seeing like half the experience. The second experience is down in the comments section. And I'll put all those videos, and then you'll also get your Starseed transmissions. All right, have a great day.